way too hot. So, guys, this is a little bit of a different style of vlog than we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. But Michelle and I have spent most of this past week kind of just resting and recovering from our travels. If you didn't watch last week's vlog, we're in a new place. We moved away from the beach town that we were living in Texas, Galveston, and we're actually currently at our new place that will be here for a couple of weeks. And we'll share more details about that with you guys a little bit later on once we're kind of like on to the next place. But it's a really cool place. We're really excited to share it with you guys. But this week, like I said, we mostly just spent resting and trying to kind of recover from the busy travels that we've had. That's one thing that a lot of you guys might not think of, and we certainly kind of underestimated whenever we started this journey, is that we were just kind of adding a lot to what we were already doing. Now, the jobs that we have are amazing jobs, and we always talk about like the problems that we have are really good problems to have. The things that we get stressed about are really, really good things to get stressed about in comparison to a lot of what other people have to deal with, because we love doing what we do. We just absolutely love what we do. But we do get stressed out sometimes, and we do have a lot on our plates in terms of keeping up with all of our workload while we are actually still traveling on the road, exploring new places like the one we're in right now. So there's a few kind of techniques that we've been picking up along the way, and we've been developing and will continue to develop, that are just kind of helping us to de-stress whenever we feel like we have a lot on our plates. So again, balancing traveling and seeing all these new places, finding new places, finding where the next stop on our journey is going to be, enjoying the place that we're at, and balancing work, our normal work, our editing, filming, me doing website work, Michelle working on things that she's working on and different projects. All of that just adds up to be quite a bit. It's a lot to kind of carry, and it's really good problems to have, but we get stressed out just like you guys do, even through all this awesome stuff that we're doing. And so we have a couple of ways that we've kind of started to learn, and we're going to continue to develop over time, but we've had some ways, and we found some ways that really help us out when we're trying to just de-stress. When we feel those moments of like, oh my gosh, we have so much going on right now. We found some ways that really help us to just kind of like just let off the pressure, hit the brakes a little bit, and be able to, again, fully appreciate where we are and what we're doing, and not just get so wrapped up in everything that's going on and kind of the stress around that. So here's a couple of the things that Michelle and I have been doing almost every day for the last couple of weeks to just kind of help us take the pressure off a little bit and to just de-stress. So the first thing that Michelle and I have been incorporating a lot of the last couple of weeks, as we've kind of started to realize that there's a lot more going on than usual and we need to de-stress, is meditation. I have actually meditated almost every day for the last couple of years. I would say definitely at least the last 2 years, and I kind of dabbled in it a little before then. And it's something that has helped me a lot in my life. I credit a lot of where I am in life to meditation. So meditation can be a lot of different things for a lot of different people, and I've talked about this in a past vlog, but for me, the biggest thing is that it just helps me declutter my mind. A lot of times when there's all this stuff going on where we're trying to balance work, trying to balance our travels, trying to balance just being in an awesome relationship and being able to make the most of that, and taking care of Kona, and just, there's a million things. There's always a million things going on. Everybody's kind of got a million things going on at one time. And meditation for me, it's taking about 10 minutes out of a day to just focus on my breath and to just narrow down to that one thing, to just like, even if that's the only moment of breath that I have in the day where I'm just not focusing on all the millions of things going on around us, it helps me a lot to just have that. And it helps me be able to also remember that I can always come back to that as well. So even if I do feel like I have a million things going on, even if I'm feeling stressed out, I can always take a couple deep breaths, and it helps me remember to kind of just center in on that one thing and be able to have that to come back to even when I'm feeling really stressed out. So we've been doing that quite a bit lately, and it's one thing that I can't overshare about, because it really has made a really positive impact in my life, and I think Michelle's really enjoying it too. She actually has been meditating with me for the last couple of days, or actually the last week or so, and it seems like she's really enjoying it as well and getting a lot out of it. So it's something we've been enjoying doing together. It's a cool kind of couples thing too, if you are looking for something like that to do with your significant other. The second thing that Michelle and I have been doing a lot of to help us de-stress is reading. Now, this is the book that I've been reading lately. This is The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. It's one of my all-time favorite books, and I talk a little bit more about why it's one of my all-time favorite books in my Instagram. Hit that up at the Groovy Guitar Dude if you're not already subscribed. But it's a great book. I'd recommend it to anybody. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail on there. If you're curious about it, you can hit up my Instagram and I talk a little bit more about why I love that book. But reading is one of those things that it kind of goes hand in hand with meditation, and we both kind of do them. We'll kind of do meditation for a few minutes and then we'll read for a few minutes, or vice versa. We'll read a little bit and then we'll meditate for a little bit. And it's, again, just taking dedicated time to slow down, put work away, and focus on one thing at a time. And that's a really big thing in my life. I kind of always feel like I have a lot going on up here. Even if I'm not working, I still always kind of like the gears are always turning. And so that's why meditation helps a lot for me. It's one thing that's, again, made a big difference in my life, but also reading, because then I'm really focused on what I'm reading. I'm focused on the words in this book. I'm not focused on every little other thing that's going on in my mind, or would usually be going on in my mind, because I'm just focused on reading. I try to read a lot of kind of business books, entrepreneurial books. I also try to read a lot of kind of self-help books, but I also love good stories and stuff like that as well. So I always love to hear book recommendations. If you guys have anything you would recommend that I read, or if you're curious about books that I would recommend to you guys, let me know. I would love to either make a video about that or even just hit you guys up in the comments. And again, I'm always looking for the next book to read. The third thing that Michelle and I have been trying to do a lot more of to kind of balance out this hectic schedule that we have and this very different lifestyle that we have is making time to get outside. One thing that we noticed in our first week or two of kind of doing this traveling thing is that balancing work and traveling and being able to really appreciate and explore the places that we're staying that are very interesting places, it's kind of hard because a lot of our work requires us to be glued to our computers or sitting in front of a camera with a guitar, which we love. We're very blessed to do that. And we talk about all the time, again, referencing back to that these are very good problems to have, but we also need to make sure that we're taking time to get outside and appreciate what we're doing and really explore. It's awesome to stay in an awesome, cool, beautifully aesthetically lit house and be able to film anytime that we want to. We love that. But we also want to make sure that we're taking time to explore the places that we're in and really just soak it all in and appreciate it, because if we're not doing that, then this isn't really worth it. So one way that we always like to do this, and we're really trying to do more and more, is taking Kona on walks. We love taking Kona on walks. He's kind of mad at me because I just woke him up from a nap. But we love taking Kona on walks. It's a really good way for us to be able to get outside, and he obviously loves it too. I'm gonna put him down because I just woke him up from a nap and I think he's like not stoked about it. So even if the only time we really get outside in a day in between work is to just go out and take Kona on a quick walk, just down the street, around the block, whatever it might be, that does help us because it helps us just enjoy where we're at, and it also helps us kind of just take our minds away from work for a little bit. So the fourth thing that Michelle and I have been doing quite a bit of lately that's helping us de-stress is planning. That sounds pretty obvious and simple, but let me expand on it a little bit. So I carry this notebook with me everywhere. I always have it with me. And what we usually will do is we'll take about an hour at the beginning of each week and we'll sit down and we will just figure out what the priorities for that week are. Now, here's an example of what that means. Getting new guitar tutorials out to you guys is something that usually is a very high priority on our list. Something that's a little bit more of a lower priority is making sure that we get content onto Instagram. Both of those things are things that we both really, really want to do, but getting guitar tutorials out to you guys is very, very near the top of our priority list. And that list is big, and those are just two examples, but sitting down and kind of ironing out where those things fall on the priority scale really helps us to make sure that we get the things that are most important done and don't spend too much time on the things that are a little bit less important. And finally, guys, the last thing that we do to help us de-stress is we clean. Now, this may sound kind of weird because, like, who likes to clean? But we actually love to clean, and it really helps us feel just refreshed. Now, one thing about Kona you might have seen, he is a big fluffy bear and he tends to shed quite a bit. So there's always kind of dog hair to pick up around the house or sweep up or vacuum up. So that's one way we can clean. The other thing we do a lot is we'll do dishes. A lot of times we'll just kind of wipe down surfaces. We'll take the trash out. Doing little things like this throughout the day every once in a while, just taking a minute to kind of tidy up, that actually ends up helping us feel a lot less stressed because it just feels like the place is cleaner, it's easier to work, but it's also kind of a mental break from whatever we happen to be working on at the time. So I've always been a kind of a neat freak. Michelle's kind of a neat freak as well. We both, fit together very well in that way. And we both love just kind of taking time to tidy up and it just helps us feel a lot better and a lot less stressed working in a tidy space, but also just taking that time to just kind of take the step away from work for just, even if it's a minute or two, to just tidy up a little bit. Hey guys, that is 5 things that Michelle and I are doing lately on our travels to help us overcome some stress that we've been encountering. Now, I would love to hear from you guys. What kind of things do you do to help you relieve stress? Everybody encounters stress in different ways. The things that we stress about are a lot different than I'm sure a lot of the things that you guys stress about. We talk a lot about that the things that we are stressed about, that Michelle and I are stressed about, are things that we're very lucky to be stressed about. We stress about sometimes like things that are where is the next cool travel place that we're going to get to go to? That's something that in its own right, it's a little bit stressful because sometimes we don't know where the next place we're going to live is or how long the drive is to that place or any other kind of thing that we can associate with that. But that's a really cool problem to have. And we're very lucky and very blessed to have those sorts of things to stress about. But everybody has stress, and those are just a couple of the ways that we kind of cope with that stress. So I hope that hearing some of the ways that Michelle and I have been using lately to de-stress has helped you out. We would love to hear suggestions of what you guys use to help you de-stress, and also let me know what books you guys are reading. I love hearing about book recommendations. I love that kind of stuff. So please let me know if you are interested in what kind of books I'm reading. Let me know because that's something I love to share as well. So we will see you guys early tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time on Michelle's channel for our live stream Jamma Latte. We've been doing that every week, and it's just a place where we can get together and hang out with you guys in a live setting. We just usually get a little bit of coffee, which is cool enough to drink now, and we just hang out. We usually jam a little bit. We'll pick up our guitars, play some guitar with you guys, take a couple requests sometimes, and just hang out. That's really what it is. It's just literally us having coffee and breakfast with you guys. So we're very much looking forward to that tomorrow. We will see you guys then, and thanks for watching. See y'all soon.